We're live. Okay. What's going on, people? Heavy Metal Hotep back with another video for y'all. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Hope everybody had a great day and is having a great start to their week. So, last week we basically announced the winners for the Food Knowledge giveaway. Now, that was the first part, right? We gave, free turkey. That's, everything's closed for that. We announced the winner for the free turkey. You guys still have a little bit more time to enter for the children's book giveaway. Remember, for those of you that don't know, it's a 24 set of the Max Axiom books / graphic novels. Really cool. Definitely Google that if you haven't seen what they look like. Definitely something kids will want to pick up and read, right? So the winners for that will be announced December 6th. And yeah, other than that, let's see what else I got for you. Let me check my notes. Hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure y'all click that bell. Hit that like button and make sure y'all subscribe. And share this video if you like what we're doing over here. Let's see what we got going on down here. So we got. Alright, that's okay. YouTube telling me that 480p is not optimal, but that's alright. At least it's not stopping this time. Hopefully the video should be good. Still got a mic on the way, so sound quality will be better. Let me make sure that yeah, we're good with the sound, right? Yeah, we're good with the sound. All right, y'all can hear me. Cool. All right, so we're just gonna get right into it. So tonight's episode is basically about short-term goals, right? And basically any steps that you need to take to get to, let's say, a bigger goal, right? And these short-term goals don't have to be a part of an overarching, thing you want to get to. They could just be standalone goals, right? It could be day-to-day things that you want to accomplish. Could be whether it could be weight loss, and we'll get to that in a second, or even weight gain, right? So like I was saying just a minute ago, like they can be standalone goals, and really, you can really just sit there and think about like the things that you want to accomplish, or like little small things that you might want to, like little tasks that you want to take on. And this basically is a part of what we've been talking about, for the past few episodes, which, as far as those few episodes, those other episodes go, like I know it says we're on the 6th, and you can probably only see the 4th one, the 5th one, and this one, right? The first 3 will definitely be uploaded to YouTube. I found a downloader that I can use to download them from Facebook, and then I'll just upload them from there. So those will be on the way shortly, right? But yeah, it goes into everything that we've been talking about so far. When it comes to getting your ideas out there, et cetera, et cetera. Essentially, you can just have these different things that will prepare you, right? Let's say they are a part of like a bigger thing that you want to take on, a bigger task or whatever, right? A bigger goal. You can use these short-term goals, right? You can use them for prepping you to be ready for a bigger goal, right? Like, you can, like, honestly just use these step by step, right? You can have your confidence boosted too. Like, they can actually, like, these short-term goals, right? They can help boost your confidence in, let's say, something bigger that you want to take on, right? You'll get through these goals, you'll accomplish these things, and then once you get through those, you're thinking like, oh, well, if I could do this, I could probably do the other thing, right? I could probably, take care of the next three tasks or the next three short-term goals, and then eventually you get past those 3, 4 steps, those 3, 4 short-term goals, and the next thing you know, you're at the bigger goal, right? You're at the main goal. And maybe starting out, it didn't seem like you could get there, right? It didn't seem as feasible, didn't seem as possible. You feel me? Like, could have been, you're starting out, before you even accomplish these other, like, short-term goals, right? Looking at that long-term goal, like, man, damn, how am I gonna get to that? How am I gonna accomplish that when I got like, all these different things I gotta do before that, right? And it doesn't seem possible because you haven't gotten to, let's say, the first three short-term goals you need to accomplish before even, even getting to that other long-term goal, right? So personally, I think that setting short-term goals is helpful because, like, they can really kind of test where you're at with what you're ultimately trying to accomplish, or even just small things that you need to take care of, and you just do them, right? You get it done. So it helping your confidence, right? Will obviously, definitely help your mindset. It'll help your mindset with, I kind of already touched on this, right? Like, basically you being able to, you understanding that you have what it takes to get to that ultimate goal, or even just start that goal because you've already accomplished, like, all these short-term goals that you set for yourself. So I think that that's really important that we have those as well, even if they're not, like, even if they are just standalone ones, that's important as well. But a lot of times these short-term goals are a part of a bigger thing that we want to get to. And these short-term goals honestly can be just as important as main goals, right? Like, sometimes you gotta, like, again, this kind of goes into what I was just saying. Sometimes you have to actually go into um, getting these goals done, right? Before you can even get to the bigger one, the overarching picture, right? You gotta go through steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you can get to step 5. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's important to keep that in mind. Like, sometimes it's important not to just jump the gun. Like, I know, you might see something that you want to get to, and let's say it's the other way around, where you can do it, right? And you're not even focusing on the fact that you haven't gotten steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 done, right? What's going on with the stream, bro? 1 second, yo. Let's see what's going on with the stream real quick. That might be why. Anyway. Alright, so yeah, you're not even focusing on the fact that you got to do X, Y, and Z before you can get to the next step. So it's important to not get ahead of yourself, right? It's important to make sure that you're, like, basically staying focused, and make sure that you're actually taking the right steps to get to where you want to get to as far as an overall goal, right? Like, these short-term goals are important, even if these are just, like, even small little steps to getting to that bigger goal. It's one of those things where you have to take that into consideration. Basically, you have to make sure that you are ready to even take on a bigger task. So it's a good thing, to understand that sometimes those short-term goals do have to, be accomplished before you can get to the bigger one. And if you don't, I mean, you might not be ready, right? You might have to go through these things, before you get to the ultimate goal, and you might even not even be ready. So it's like, short-term goals are so important because and this is a lot of cases, not every case, right? Not every case, but in a lot of cases, you have to make sure that you are prepared. or even in the right position, right, to go to that next big step. You feel me? Like as we were saying before, short-term goals will a lot of times prepare you for that next step. Sometimes short-term goals even prepare you for the next short-term goal, right? And like as long as you stay focused on that, I mean, honestly, before you know it, you'll be at that point where you're ready to take on that big, project, or get in there for that promotion or whatever it may be, right? And close that. That's the important thing, right? You always want to make sure that you're ready. You feel me? You always want to make sure that you're ready to take on a bigger goal. That you set yourself up to be in the position to um, receive that responsibility, and that understanding how to take on that task. So short-term goals, right? And it can be really like it can be small things. You feel me? Like doesn't have to be like super like important things. Like I guess like whether it's work related or something to that degree. Like I mean, it could be setting a deadline for yourself, right? Like it could be you got to finish a project, right? Or you got X amount of time to study before, let's say you got to go in for an exam, right? So it could be something as simple as setting a deadline for yourself, right? It could be getting started on reading some type of book, right? Or some type of literature that you might need to do a report on or you need to study, right? It could be weight loss just by pounds, right? It could be weight gain just by pounds. It could be bringing your grades up, It could be raising your GPA, It could be just about anything, really. So another thing to remember is, or actually not even remember, just get a good feel for and just be ready to understand it might not exactly be what you want right then, but it's still important to just be able to withstand being in that situation. What I'm talking about is like delayed gratification, right? Um, when you're doing something, right? And a lot of us, I mean, with social media and just everything, from even cooking to, communication to just media we consume, right? Everything's like right now, right away, boom, 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 You want to look it up, you got it. You know what I'm saying? All types of stuff. Google, all like, hell, even here on YouTube, you want to look up a video or something really specific, boom, you got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like instant. And that has desensitized us, I think, to waiting to get what we want, waiting longer to get what we want. You know what I mean? Like I think that we've been so used to just having things like right now that anything that might actually come later, we might actually have to wait for or put in work to get, something rewarding out of it and taking time in that. I think that we've kind of lost that idea, lost that understanding, or just know that that's a thing, right? Like we know that's a thing, but we don't want to deal with that because we're so used to everything being right now and right away, instant. Um, but yeah, delayed gratification, like I think that's an important skill to have because it teaches you to basically build up what you're trying to do, put in the work, right? Knowing that what you want to get out of said goal is absolutely worth putting the time and effort in, right? And the key word there would be time, right? Putting the time in. Knowing, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week, right? Like procrastination, like your future self, thinking about your future self and how getting these things done, your future self will reward you for it, right? And essentially, it goes along the same lines of thinking of your future self, right? Understanding that your future self will thank you. And I know that, like, A lot of people don't really probably like to really think about that, because a lot of people are like, well, what if I'm not here in the future and this and that? And I mean, that's true, but just the same way you can look at it as um, things might change in the future, you can also look at it as, what if they don't? What if you are there? What then? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to be satisfied with where you're at in the future? Are you going to be satisfied with um, what you have, or what you don't have, even, right? Like, what you could have accomplished. Like, what are you gonna ask yourself? Like, man, I could have done this, I could have done that. What are the questions you're gonna ask yourself once you are in your future self down the road? Like, maybe say a year from now, 2 years from now, right? 3 years. Are you going to enjoy what you've worked hard in those 3 years to obtain? Are you going to enjoy um, basically the spoils of your labor? You know what I'm saying? Like, or the fruits of your labor. You know, are you going to enjoy those things because you put in the time, right? Keyword being time, time and effort. And effort's just important as time, but specifically we're talking about delayed gratification. So, like, we're not talking like, you can put in all the effort you want, but if you stop because you don't want to work for a certain period of time that's required for you to get to a certain place where you want to be, you know, well, then what's the point? You're not, obviously, clearly you're not going to get to that goal, especially if it requires time and effort. So it goes back to thinking that once you put in the time and effort, you're going to, and then you get to that point, right? You're going to look back and like, look at all the things I accomplished. But not only that, how I got to it was because I was willing to put in the work, right? I was willing to put in the work and the time and keep focused, right? Like, those two things put together, when it comes to things that you want to do, or just um, things that you want to accomplish, I would say are extremely important, right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to do a lot of things if you're willing to just be patient. You know what I'm saying? Um, not be so worried about getting that gratification instantly, getting it right now, understanding that it will be down the road, and you're willing to um, wait it out, basically, and keep on working and staying focused while you're going into that time frame that it's going to take for you to get there. Um, so, delayed gratification is definitely something that goes into goals in general, but you can also say short-term goals, because doing these short-term goals, knowing that there's like something like way down the road that you want to get to, if you can't be okay with delayed gratification, how are you going to do these short-term goals? These short-term goals aren't getting you to where you want to be right then and there. So you're going to sit there and be like, well, I don't want to wait, right? Like, I want this right now, you know? Like, I don't want to look down the road. I want this right now, and that's what I'm looking at. So again, one key thing to keep in mind when you're talking about short-term goals is definitely delayed gratification. So a lot of times, and what helps is basically just taking it one day at a time, right? Like, understanding that there's time in between, like, if there's something specific that you want to, accomplish, right? The main goal, the big goal, right? Whatever that may be, understanding that there's, that might be something down the road, and there's going to be time in between that. So what helps is just, taking these steps and these short-term goals one day at a time, like, um, I was told that by my grandfather when he was alive, and he always used to say that to me. He always used to say, just take it one day at a time, right? When I was in school, sometimes acting up, sometimes getting suspended, fights, all that. um, basically, doing stuff, acting the fool, doing stuff I was supposed to do. Like, I know he would mean it in general, but you can apply that to in I guess because it was in general, you can apply it to so many different things. Like here, just taking it one day at a time as far as your short-term goals. Like obviously, if you can apply it to short-term goals, you can apply it to long-term goals, right? Um, and basically just making sure that when you focus on the time that you're spending accomplishing these things and working towards these different things, short-term goals and long-term goals, um, it's important and it's easier to make sure you're taking the right steps and make sure you're doing it correctly by taking your time with it, right? Not rushing, taking it one day at a time, essentially. So, in each of those days, like that you're taking, day by day, right? Each of them can be short-term goals themselves, right? They can be. Oh, by the way, hit that like button, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, click that bell. Also, feel free if you guys want to. If you guys want, hit the Cash App. Any little bit helps. More like most importantly, definitely subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here, so every little bit counts. But at the end of the day, if you want to subscribe, you want to hit the Cash App. It's $ at ONEMETAL and the number 1, right? Again, that's $ ONEMETAL and the number 1. One metal 1. But yeah, so each one of those days that you take day by day, right? They could be long-term goals. It could just be, getting through the day without maybe doing something you're not supposed to. Well, it could be like say you want to quit smoking, right? You could just be getting through the day without having a cigarette, or even cutting down, only having 2 cigarettes for that day. If you smoke a pack a day, only smoking maybe 4 or 5 a day, It could be any of those things. Everybody has their different levels and their different starting points at which they are comfortable with, doing, starting, right? And that's why I think that like each of those days can be a short-term goal that in of itself, right? So it's going to be a shorter episode because I want to see something. I want to see if you guys like the shorter episodes, if you'll check those out more rather than the 40-minute Jones. So this one's going to be like, about the halfway mark of how long I normally do my shows, my live streams, right? So we'll see, if you guys prefer the shorter videos. And by shorter, I mean in terms of how I normally do them, and then if this, gets more views, then, we'll stick with that for a while and see, if you guys like, shorter videos than that. But yeah, feel free to DM me here on, Facebook. If you type in Heavy Metal Hotep, my page will come right up. Follow me on IG at Greg Hatchetman Henderson. That link should be, my ad should be, where we at? Right there. You can see right there, just follow me on IG right there. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for tonight's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it, everybody that tuned in. Again, like and subscribe. Make sure you click that bell. Share if you like what I'm doing over here. That helps a lot. Get more people in, to listen to these things. And there's going to be different content coming as opposed to just the podcast, There's going to be some music stuff related, I'm sure you guys can see, like, in the background here, got one of my rigs, I have another one, actually, you can't see it, but it's, like, literally, it's, like, right here. I have one rig here. This is more for, like, it can be used for, like, modulation and, like, using different effects, different songs, sound like that, and then that's like basically that's my baby right there, you know, along with the guitar, right over there. Let's see. Yeah. But anyway, hope everybody has a good night. I will see you guys next week. And so the rules for again, the rules for the children's book giveaway, right? The knowledge part of the food and knowledge giveaway. We already gave away the food, and we're going to give away the knowledge. All you have to do is be subscribed on here on YouTube. Like the video, right? Share it, right? You can share this video, either share it on Facebook, and then write something that you write, like basically it could be anything something that you thought about the video, what you liked, what you thought about it. Doesn't have to be anything super long, you know. Just write something, right? Something that you liked about the video, you know, if anything at all. Yeah, other than that, that's all I got for you guys. I will see you guys next week. Everybody have a good night. And yeah, peace.